Good afternoon, everybody. It's so nice to see such a large crowd here. I guess you figured after 2 months, maybe you need to catch up. And indeed, we have a lot to catch up on. As you can see, we have a long agenda today. Yeah, so we will get right to it. Starting with me. And these are the things I want to talk about. My adventures at Skyline. A little bit about mirth and humor. A few comments about the West Tower transition. A new idea for how we're going to maybe help everybody get through the construction with some excursions. And last but not least, congratulations to Pam Mitchell on our Residents' Council. So, many or most of you know this already, but I had an altercation with a glass door in one of the downtown buildings. When I went to the hospital, people thought I had been in a bar fight. My face was all bruised, but interestingly enough, I did not break anything in my face. However, the glass door knocked me down on a very hard surface, and I broke my femur. So I was in the hospital for about a week, and then at Skyline for a little over 2 weeks. And it was a bit of an adventure being at Skyline. I'll tell you a few things about it. But I will say that I got excellent rehab service. If any of you have to go there, and I hope you don't, not for that reason. Anyway, go to look at it, but not because you have to go through rehab. But all of the employees were very helpful, just wanted to do whatever they could to help me out. I got physical rehab and occupational rehab. The first day or two, I stayed in my room for meals, but then I started going to the dining area for meals. Met a few people, actually kind of made a couple of friends over there. The only thing I didn't like was the uncomfortable bed. But apart from that, it was good. So, if you have to do it, make it an adventure. A few things that I learned. Some of the differences between us at Horizon House and Skyline. Skyline is owned by a company called Transforming Age. And they have quite a number of facilities. Skyline is hardly their only one. They are on the West Coast, but also in the Midwest. It isn't clear why. Well, they're a big company. I guess they're making money off of it. But in part because they are one big company, they're kind of told what to do. Their Residents' Council, for example, is advisory only, unlike us where our Residents' Council decides what programs we're going to have, and you all put on those programs for one another. They can only advise on things that they want to do. I understand that, however, that at one point the men were told that they had to wear jackets at one meal during the week, and I'm told that that lasted about 2 weeks. Maybe. They have a lifestyles department, and these are paid employees, and they are the ones who plan and create most of their programs. Not all of them, but most of them. And one of the peculiarities I learned is that they are divided into 2 different election districts within Seattle. So the older buildings are in one district, and then across the street where their new Olympic Tower is a completely different district. So that has some interesting effects. they said that one of the good things about it was that when they wanted to go to the city to get permission to build that bridge across the street to connect the two buildings so that when it's dark and raining, they don't have to go across the street. This time they had 2 members of the Seattle Council pushing for it instead of just 1. So that was one of the good things. They do have lots of events, multiple exercise programs. There's a gym and a swimming pool like us. Their election forums are very much like ours, except because they have 2 districts, it's a little bit, you know, they have to include them all or whatever to, they've got, you know, more candidates than we do. They also do something that I thought was clever. They have what they call a soapbox. So just like us, the organization itself is impartial when it comes to candidates. But they also have a separate event called a soapbox, where any resident may speak on behalf of any candidate or proposition that they want to talk about. I thought that was an interesting way to do things. But like us, they have problems with channel 370, their 370. And one day the electricity went out for, you know, just a minute, and both of the elevators in the building I was in went out. I had to be taken up and down in the freight elevator. Then one of them came on, but I think I heard one of the residents say, "Gee, these elevators are always going out." And then on channel 370, not only are there 2 election districts, but there are 2 different cable companies. One of them is Comcast, like we have, and the other one is a completely different cable company, which is sort of the only one of its kind in Seattle. And so it is one of those, I think it's Comcast, that's in their new building, and this other one that is in the older buildings. And if they're doing a program in the new building, in their, what I told is a really beautiful performance hall, sort of like this, they try and broadcast it on 370, but only the people in the old building can get it, and the people in the building where it's really happening can't get it on 370. So, you know, if we think we have problems, it is an interesting place to live. I will tell you that the people who live there do love it. They really think it's a great place. So that's very nice. On to another topic. How many of you attended the birth of Mirth? I'm forgetting the exact name. Several of you did. And you know, we've been told that we don't have enough humor at the birth of Mirth, yeah. We don't have enough humor here at Horizon House. So I decided I would just start us off by telling a joke. Now, this has nothing to do with Horizon House. I'll tell you a little backstory. As a library director, I used to have to do a fair amount of public speaking. I never told jokes, but I was about to give a talk to a Rotary group, and a member of that group, someone whom I respected quite a lot, said, "Well, you've got to start off with a joke." And I said, "No, I don't tell jokes." And he said, "It's the only way they will listen to your talk is if you start with a joke." So I asked some friends what joke I could tell, and one of them gave me an idea for a joke. Well, I practiced that joke by walking up and down the gravel road, the dirt road in front of my house, over and over, telling this joke out loud to no one. And then I went to a library conference, and I told that joke to the people sitting at one of the dinner tables, sitting there with me. That was really tough. Anyway, finally, I went to Rotary, and I told this story as a prelude to talking about our library system. So here's the joke. A highway patrolman was going down the road, and he noticed a pickup truck and a man standing next to the pickup truck with a pig. And so he pulled over and said, "What are you doing with that pig?" And the man said, "I found this pig wandering by itself by the side of the road, and I don't know what to do with it." So the patrolman said, "Why don't you take that pig to the zoo?" And he said, "That's a great idea." And he and the patrolman picked that pig up, put it in the back of the pickup truck, and off he went. The next day, the highway patrolman saw the same pickup truck, but this time the pig was sitting in the passenger seat with a hat and a pencil behind his ears. And the patrolman pulled him over and said, "What are you doing with that pig? I thought I told you to take the pig to the zoo." And he said, "You did. And we had such a good time. Today we're going to the library." And I think I'm going to challenge you all to send me jokes. And if I like it, I'll tell it here, and I'll even give you credit for it. Okay, just a brief update on the West Tower transition meeting. The staff and guest parking is still a work in progress. As you know, it's a hard fit just for our residents' cars, so we don't know yet whether we will have any guest parking, and we know we will not have any on-site staff parking. We're moving ahead with the car sharing program. That's coming soon. It's been coming soon for a long while. But there will be a meeting to brief us on the kind of vehicle and how that whole program will operate as soon as contracts are signed and all of that. Those who have, excuse me a minute, would you open that? Those who have their storage lockers in the West Wing now have gotten information about how their items will be moved to the new off-site storage building. That is going smoothly. They can meet individually with Segway, which is the company that is going to be doing the moving. There are various ways to discard items if they don't need them anymore and so on. But the transition committee is looking for things we can do during construction to make us all happier. Because we know we're not going to like the noise, we're not going to like the dust, we're not going to like not having good access to patios, outdoor space, and so on. So we think that a good thing to do would be to plan some excursions, some day trips, some half-day trips, things like going over to Poles Bow or to the Tulip Festival, maybe half-day visits to some of the parks where we can walk amongst the trees and so on. So I would like every committee to do some brainstorming about places that you think would be interesting for your committee members or any of our residents. And then please send me those lists. Please brainstorm those, suggest some destinations that we can do in a day or less, and let me know what those are. Then, many of you know that before COVID, Horizon House residents used to work with a travel agency to plan longer trips. And a lot of you have missed it. You know, we hear that many of our residents would like to go on trips. When I happened to be here before I moved in, they were gathering names for an Alaska cruise. And many of you have said you would love to travel more, but you don't want to go by yourself. So we're looking for 1 or 2 or 3 people who might like to work with a travel agency and plan some excursions, longer ones that all of us could sign up for if we want to. So if you'd like to do that, again, let me know, please. And last thing I have to say on the agenda is congratulations to Pam Mitchell. Pam, where are you sitting? Right there. Stand up. Many of you know this, and I think you attended. I think it might have been in May, was it? That Pam Mitchell was given the University of Washington Golden Graduate Alumni Award for leadership in health-related fields. And now it's time to hear from our CEO, Erica.
Thank you, Ronnie. So good to have you back. All right, I'm going to start out with some good news, or at least bright spots. Thank you to everyone who came out to the Assisted Living Open House. It was a phenomenal event. I will tell you, the staff and residents, it meant a world. Our community feels connected now. It really does. It's a place where we're telling the truth about this continuum that we have, meaning wherever you live within Horizon House, we are one community. So thank you to all of you who've come out. You know, continue to visit, continue to support assisted living. We do have a wonderful event planned, I believe tomorrow, the volunteer appreciation event for Thursday. Thank you for all of the independent living residents who volunteer in assisted living. We could not do all the things we do without you. So thank you. I just wanted to recap. We were very fortunate in having the CEO of Leading Age visit us on 2 weeks ago, actually now. And it was a really awesome event. You know, Katie, she called me up and said, I'd love to come visit you and come see this Horizon House that you always talk about. And so, you know, we really wanted to give her a big experience. And I will tell you, you know, initially it was just, you know, let's let her have member visits. That's a part of what's important for her. She visits communities all over the country, but had not been to the Pacific Northwest in a very long time. So she started her morning. I'd arranged a visit for her at Bayview. Then she came over here. We invited the Leading Age Washington Board, which its members are from organizations throughout the state. We even had the board chair come in from Rockwood from Spokane. So it was a great day. But I just want to read you an email she sent me. And, you know, if Katie is one, she's not somebody who's flowery. She's pretty pragmatic. So it was really heartfelt. You know, she just said, you know, Erica, thank you. I'm still glowing from my day in Seattle. And she says, you know, it was so incredibly special. The board lunch and the member visits and a chance to meet with your board and residents on the terrace was just awesome. I am in awe of your community, the spirit, the culture, and the engagement. And it was interesting because she did visit a couple of communities. You know, we walked over to some that are nearby. And for her, it was just such a different vibe, if you will, at Horizon House. And we also had the Vice President of Public Policy for Leading Age Washington. And again, these are people who have been in hundreds of communities. And again, it's not just us kind of drinking our own Kool-Aid. I mean, these are people who are like, yeah, you know, this is really this feels different. It's special. So it was great. Thank you to all who had a chance to greet and welcome our visitors on that very busy day, August 7th. Want to let everybody know we do have small group sessions. We have 2 more coming up. And so there's still availability. So if you'd like to come to a small group session, please sign up. Just email Beth or, you know, give Beth a call and she can get you in. Want to give a West Tower update. We are at 102 reservation deposits as of today. And we have just added a new sales team member who started today. Her name is Alicia Sabari. You are going to love Alicia. She is a person who just values connections, and she wants to get to know you. So you will be seeing her around. I don't know if I think we did invite her, but I don't see her. I know she's got a pretty tight new schedule today, but she's going to be helping us sell the West Tower and also just Horizon House in general to do more community outreach, more business to business outreach, something that we have not been able to really wrap our kind of arms around, and we need to do. I do want to talk a little bit about resident referrals. We had a referral event. We had a small but mighty group. And really what this event was is just helping people think of some organic ways that they can invite people to learn more about Horizon House. And there were two things that came out of that event that I think were worth talking about. One was somebody said, when you have sales events, we don't know. We have no clue what you have coming up. How would we invite somebody? Because we are never notified. So we are going to start to put any sales events in the alert, and we will put them on HH Connect. So if you have someone, who you think, might be interested or might need to be interested, it's a good opportunity to say, hey, you know what, we have this event to learn more. A lot of what we talk about is senior living in general. So if you have somebody who just needs more education, it's an opportunity for them to come, and then they get to spend some time with you. So we want to just find easy ways that you can share your experience with others. The other thing that came up had to do with financials. People said, it's hard to have that conversation. People might ask, how much is Horizon House? And because we are such an, economically diverse group, it's hard to say, what things cost here. It depends on a lot of different things. And so we are going to at least make sure that you can find the ranges. They're on the website, but a bit buried. So we're going to put that on HH Connect, an easy place where you can just say to a friend, well, we have units from X, to Z, and you can give them a little bit of information so that they can at least dig a little deeper. And really there is no pressure. I think that's the other thing people have to know. This is not a high pressure sale. Our goal is for people to find the best fit. So you don't have to be worried if you turn your friends over to our sales team, they're going to harass them. That will not happen. But we always have the little postcards. They're in the vestibule of my office. We really cannot do this without you. And not just for West Tower. Referrals, that's how we have grown Horizon House over the years. By a show of hands, how many of you are here because you know someone who's here or some, word of mouth? Raise your hand if you're here. Oh, exactly. So this is our legacy. This is how we continue. It doesn't have to be your best friend. One of the things that happens every time we have an event, whether they are people who've deposited or are looking, residents here will say, oh, I know you, hey, such and such body. But this might not have been a person that they thought to send a little postcard to or an email. And so a lot of people are thinking about this, but just a little nudge, even if you're on Facebook, sharing our posts, things that might help people come and explore Horizon House would be so important and helpful for us. All right, now on to the more uncomfortable conversations. I want to talk about Xfinity and Comcast. So, I will just tell you, I'm just not a person. What is the definition of insanity? Just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's what it feels like with Xfinity. I mean, we've tried so many things, and we are not able to get the kind of customer service, or they obviously don't have a brand promise. And so we are going to have to go in a different direction completely. It just doesn't make sense. And because they have, such the corner of the market, they just can do whatever they want to do. They don't have to deliver great service, but we have come up with what we believe is another solution. It's going to take some time, but it will push us into the future a little bit more. So many of you have had the chance to meet Robert Derby, our Director of Innovation and Technology. And, he's very forward thinking. And so we want to bring quantum fiber into the building. We need it. I'll be honest with you. Many of you remember the day when they told you your analog TVs weren't going to work and everybody had to go out and shop and figure out how to get, the digital TVs. That is what's going to happen at some point, anyway. So we want to be ahead of the curve, especially our existing campus, and get us rewired for the future. And what that will allow us to do. So for those of you who love your Netflix and your Prime and Hulu, then you're going to be in great company, because this is the fastest, most crisp, cabling that you can have, or fiber that you can have. For those of you who say, I'm not quite ready for all those streaming networks, we will have a solution that, is kind of box oriented, like a direct TV or something like that. So this is what we're embarking upon. We're in budgeting for 2026 to get this work started. It's very time consuming, because you're talking about a lot of wiring, and they've got to figure out. I know they did come out and do some touring. We started with the central tower, since the walls are so thick and there's a lot more complexity, but they believe that they can help us and that they can do this. I even talked with one of our board members who is a CEO and owns a cable company, just to kind of get a sense of, is this a good direction? And he gave us the green thumb. So we feel good about this direction. We will, as we get more time and we get this contracting, what we're focused on now is writing the best contract we ever could based on our terrible experiences with Xfinity. And so that's what we're in the process of doing now. I don't want to get up here and make excuses for why you can't watch Root TV. I don't want to keep doing that. So we're moving away from it completely. So more to come around the timeline, what's going to happen. We are not abandoning, if Xfinity comes tomorrow and they can fix the North Tower, we'll have them do that, because we know it is going to take time. This campus is huge. But, just know that our future is not with Xfinity. Also, speaking of, forward thinking, trying to really update our systems. We know that there has been ongoing issues with HHTV. And a lot of it is because we are using outdated DVD system. And that outdated DVD system, there's just no way to guarantee it's going to work reliable each and every time. What we're doing is quite complex. We're not always just plopping a DVD in. The DVD player is very sensitive. If somebody's oils from their finger or there's a scratch, there can be an issue. But we have some DVDs that are very complicated, where they're, kind of being burned from several different sources. If they're not encoded correctly, you might not have sound. Something may not play right over this broadcast system. We want to be careful, because the insertion hardware we have, like I said, is very outdated and old. It is not something we can fix. So what we're going to be doing is bringing on a more sophisticated system. Robert has already been, exploring a new system to bring on board. I will tell you, it is complicated as kind of running almost like a small TV station. So we have reached out to Town Hall to talk with their audiovisual team. We'll be reaching out to other folks locally, because if we have to learn it on our own, it's just going to take a long time. So we want to talk with somebody who already has a little bit more complex audiovisual than what we have, so that we can bring this forward. Nick will be coming back on September 1st. He's going to help us kind of in the interim recode some of the DVDs or flash drives that we have, to at least try to hold us over until we can bring this new system online. It was something we had planned for 2026, but we're getting started now. We're not going to wait. I will tell you, we've met, well, not we, but Robert, Amanda, and Risa have met with the leaders of all of the committees that have DVDs to really talk through, what is happening. But one of the things we are going to need to do in the interim is to probably co-create some solution for people, especially those events that happen on the weekend where we don't have staff that can troubleshoot really quickly. So, Robert will be reaching out. We'll have some smaller meetings to really talk through what we can do in the interim. Other than that, I think that is it, other than to say we have the fireside chat is next Friday, August 29th at 10 a.m. And I hope to see a room this large here. This is a great turnout today. And I'm going to pause, and if Ronnie will allow me to see if anybody has any immediate questions.
Okay. This came up, Ronnie was talking about suggestions for while the construction is going on, and you're talking about ideas for the future. During the construction, a lot of us go down to the park and often go on downtown to Nordstrom's or other stores and shop. The trouble with coming back up from downtown is to walk up that hill. It's a big, long hill. Although I can still do it, it's rough. So I'm wondering, is there any possibility of having some kind of a little cart or something to pick people up, maybe every half hour, every hour, to meet down at the convention center and bring them up to the front? Is that possible?
It is not only possible, it will happen.
Oh, great.
So we are working on a variety of transportation solutions. Even when Ronnie's talking about the trips, the day trips, right now, she is researching, kind of the large buses that Horizon House is going to pay for to transport people on some of these excursions, as well as we will have shuttles, because we're going to have shuttles for the employee parking, and we'll have a loop around the area, since people are not going to be able to cut through the park. So, absolutely. Oh, thank you. Chase is coming with the microphone.
The number 2 bus works great for coming from downtown to Horizon House.
Okay, is that on Madison? Where does that bus leave off? Seneca. Okay. Thank you.
Benaroya.
Okay.
It starts you pick it up at Benaroya, and it takes you up to 9th and Seneca.
Okay. Thank you. Well, the answer is we're still going to have a shuttle service, because we're going to have the shuttles going back and forth from the parking lots. So we just have to work with probably the West Tower Transition Committee to figure out what makes sense, what do people do, what days, kind of like we have the grocery van, we'll have days that this shuttle runs. Because part of it is it's helping us with efficiency. If we hire somebody to help with the shuttle, we've got to have things for them to do. We don't want them just sitting around, so.
Erica, would you talk a little bit about the new chef?
Yes. Oh, so very excited to have Chef Joey join us. So Chef Joey Cabrera, he is joining us most recently from Judson Park. Judson Park is, I think, in the Des Moines, Auburn area, and it's a senior living community, very much with engaged residents as well. They are a part of Human Good, which is a multi-state, large-scale senior living organization. And they have decided to, they're huge. So they've decided to, build their own dining program for Human Good. So he decided he did not want to do that. He wanted to grow, and he thought that working with CCL would help him be able to continue growing. And so it was kind of opportune. He's not coming because he didn't have a job or anything like that. It was just opportune. He was ready to grow, and we had an opening. We were ready to do a national search. But, I will tell you, I'm so excited about him being here. He is someone who is looking to grow. He is also somebody, his reputation means something to him. He's a risk taker. He's going to delight us visually. His food, just the presentation is gorgeous. He is someone who really enjoys interacting with people. He has a background in tourism. He actually worked at Yellowstone as an executive chef. So, Yosemite, thank you. See, Doris has to keep me honest. Thank you. Yosemite. You know I don't hike and camp, so national park, but right, the Yosemite. So we're very glad he's here. He is looking to elevate Horizon House's dining program. One of the things that he did at Judson Park was their scores for their satisfaction scores with dining went up tremendously under his leadership. And the thing I love is his leadership in the kitchen. He is someone who really brings out the best of everybody in the back of the house and allows, all of the people that we don't necessarily see or we don't get the chance to taste any of their food, he gets them involved in cooking. So I'm excited. I think we'll have a more exciting menu by engaging more people in the process and bring out creativity in some of our team members who've been here for a while. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I am going to turn it over to Bill Roach.
Well, good afternoon. And first of all, thanks for the opportunity to spotlight Horizon House singers. I got to figure this out here. We are a choral group of 39 residents who love to sing and would love to have you join us. We are about to begin our second year, led by the extraordinary Eric Lane Barnes. You may have participated in his sing-alongs. We perform 2 concerts a year, rehearse every Tuesday for 14 weeks before each concert, and then off for the summer. Why would you want to join a chorus? Well, it improves your health, improves your mood, and reduces stress. Eric is a great teacher who uses humor and gentle discipline to get the best out of his singers. Our 2 concerts always have a little something extra for the singers and the audience. Well, it doesn't want to work. I've been here before. Where do I go? Here? Oh, I had it upside down. Well, no wonder. The special holiday, the special holiday special. I had to look at that twice, thinking it was a typo. It turns out it's just Eric. He also composes whimsical songs such as Boogie Woogie Hanukkah, which was lots of fun to sing in December. And then, wrong way. I'll do this soon. The May concert featured The Sound of Music, which was a lot of fun to sing. And you may remember that the concert also pointed out the anti-Nazi theme of Sound of Music, which he felt was very important to feature. So what's coming up this year? On December 16th and 17th, the holiday around the world. We might sing some Spanish, some German, and even some Italian songs. We might sing forgotten songs of other lands, like Scotland, Canada, and Seattle. The June show will be folk songs, jazz standards, songs from the 60s, various things that he's thinking about. And early in the fall, he will be seeking input from the choir for about what we're going to sing in the spring. Well, do you like to sing? Can you rehearse every Tuesday from 1 to 2:30? Note that we always stop at 2:30 so we can participate in the Residence Council monthly meeting. You don't need to read music. Rehearsal tracks and sectionals will help you learn by ear. All voices are welcome, but tenors and baritones are especially needed. Are you not sure? Well, check it out. Join us on Tuesday, September 9th at 1 p.m. sharp in the Sky Lounge. Shan Cretin and I, as co-chairs, will be available in the Fireside Lounge after the meeting to answer any questions you might have. So thanks. Now I'd like to introduce Marie Godson.
I'm going to use that, just this one. I'm here to tell you all about American Mahjong, which nobody is able to do. However, I do have something that I think was kind of amusing. It's not a joke, but maybe it'll make you smile a little. And it's this: why is it that we have a square box that holds a round pizza that we cut into triangles? Good, I got a laugh. Okay, back to American Mahjong. American Mahjong is the only kind of Mahjong that uses a card. And Mahjong is an old Chinese game, and it's played, as I understand, because I really don't know how to play plain Mahjong. It's rather like gin rummy in that you make mills that you don't need a card for. But in the early 1900s in New York, there were a group of Jewish women who got tired of playing gin rummy and canasta and all those boring games. So they took Mahjong and kind of organized it a bit and made the card. And this card changes every year, and it's full of particular melds that you have to make. So it's a little different. You can't just do whatever you want. They hold you within bounds. Our American Mahjong group meets every Sunday and every Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. We have a very constant group, if you will. Julia Roberts once, when she was on what's his name? Now I've got it wrong. Colbert, thank you. The show, the TV show. She defined Mahjong. It was really funny because she was on this show and somehow Mahjong came up, that she participated in it. And he said, "What is Mahjong?" I had a couple of old grandmothers that used to play Mahjong, and they loved it, and they had all these tiles. But what exactly is it? So she defined it very simply, and I'm going to read that because I want to get it right. So this is Julia Roberts, a quote. Yeah, the actress, Pretty Woman, that one. American Mahjong is a game that creates order out of chaos based on random drawing of tiles. You play Mahjong with all these wonderful little tiles, and they're kind of in a way like cards. They all have significance. There are different suits and so forth. And you scramble them upside down before you begin to play. And then you begin to draw these. I won't go into how you draw them because I could be here for the next hour. So I'll avoid doing that. But anyway, that's kind of what it's all about. We're happy to give some instructions if you'd like to learn how to play. And also, I thought you'd find it amusing to hear I belong to a Facebook Mahjong group, and they're wonderful. You can ask them a question. Often we'll have a question while we're playing, and I ask this group online, how do I solve this? How do we solve this problem? And before the game's over, I've got about 20 responses, so it's really kind of fun. So I wrote in a little comment and said, I have to make a presentation about Mahjong to a group. What should I tell them about Mahjong? And these are, I got over 100 responses. So that'll just give you an idea. So here are a few that I picked out that I thought were kind of fun. Think gin rummy on rainbows and steroids. Hang on and pay close attention. A good way to prevent dementia. And then the best one, and the best closing one for us here, is this is going to be the most favorite thing you do each week. And I think that's true. All of us that belong to this group are there unless we're traveling, we're sick, or we're involved in some other group activity here at Horizon House. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, and now I'm to introduce Jennifer Stucker, who's going to tell us all about Sunny Mondays, yeah, right, Monday Market, and what she does when there's no elevators.
Hello, everybody. Well, time flies. I can't believe it's been 2 months since this last meeting. But time did not fly yesterday as we waited for the West Wing elevators to start working again. We were sorry to be closed for the day in response. This report is for the months of June and July. The market's net intake for June was 8,417. For July, it was 7,526. That is 16,943 total for the 9 weeks, plus the special Cassandra Carruthers sale on June 21st, which raised just under $900. Employee purchases have remained fairly stable. Our volunteers have been essential making it all work, but some of them are ultimately moving on to other activities and interests. When the Monday Market relocates to the 3rd floor of assisted living, some of the core crew may be involved elsewhere. We will need to recruit new core members for the future. Please consider what role you might play in the Monday Market in the future. In the market, I have heard people comment, your inventory is down, the shelves seem bare. I sometimes respond, we don't put out all of the items at one time, but rather over time. Others will ask, are you preparing for the move and already downsizing? I will respond, we are careful about what we accept as donations due to the lack of storage and other factors. This makes me think that as part of our relocation, we need to emphasize that it is a new or renewed Monday Market. There certainly will be changes. But one thing that doesn't change is my frequent plea to you that you carefully consider your donations. Most of the items we receive are clean and in good shape, but some of them are not, suffering from bad stains, tears, and or moth holes. I can't say that we'll be sorry to leave E-Level. We have experienced leaks in the market and puddles on the floor, problems in the restroom and the garage that the Monday Market volunteers and Horizon House employees use, and some disappearing items. As a reminder, there's no shopping from the donation bins. On the bright side, the market continues to be a hub of resident interaction and a draw for people from outside Horizon House. Family members, especially young ones, really like the low prices and, to them, retro items. Elizabeth and I continue to meet with Brian Holtz to discuss plans for the temporary market and the moves from one space to the various 3rd floor assisted living apartments. Generally, the housewares apartments will be encountered as one exits the elevators, and the clothing rooms will be further down the hall. The cashier's desk, at least for the moment as we understand it, will be in the elevator lobby. While we have workrooms, major storage, like seasonal items, will need to be off campus. It is difficult to predict the actual reopening date of the market in the new space except to say November. We look forward to your continued donations and shopping. Thank you. And now we hear from Karen Smith.
Hello, all. It's been a while since we've had one of. It's been a while since we've had one of these meetings. It's nice to be back. Some of the things I've wanted to say have been said, so I won't repeat them. But I have to say, in the years 22, 23, we were averaging $8,000 a month from the market. And this year, we've had 2 very good months, but our average has been closer to 6,000. And and we have 50 vacant apartments, and those apartments had 1 or 2 people in them. And we don't have 1 or 2 people moving into those apartments. So our customer base is down. And so, and we know that this is the money we use for our programming. And it's amazing what they do, what the people in the market, and that's my next volunteer project. But but I just want to say the Residence Council and the staff is working so hard to make this move as smooth as possible. I happen to have the privilege of being on the transition committee, and we go and are informed about the myriad of things every staff member is doing in their area to make this smooth. And I'm very grateful. Horizon House is offering to supplement our income in these months, in these times when we're going to have lower incomes due to fewer people and smaller places to operate in. So it brings me to what can you all as residents do? Well, you can volunteer in the market. You can bring friends to the market. And then I just urge you to trust the efforts of the staff and the Residence Council, that they are working so hard to make it the best. But also share your ideas. I mean, we're talking about having some more, it's been mentioned, having more trips. And so I'm collecting people and ideas about how we can do a better job of that. So clearly we need your input on some of these things. Now, for next year, we're going to start the budget process in September. So you who are chairman will be getting some instructions right after the 1st of September about working on your budget. I urge you to connect with your resource person so that this can be kind of a joint effort, and we will go from there and see what we can do. And you know, this is an incredible place. I couldn't be in a better place. We have a little challenge ahead, but guess what? We'll do it. And I think they had the same worries when they built the North Tower, what I'm hearing. So I wasn't here then, but there are a few people that were, and they tell me this, and the staff tells me this. So anyway, that is my thought for the day. And Carly, you're up next. Am I supposed to change?
Oh, on the remote? Okay.
I'm going to speak about the Archives Project. The Archives Project started as an effort to transition away from the maintenance of paper documents and into the storage of digital records in support of Horizon House's value of sustainability. It has now expanded in scope to include an enriched record of Horizon House's history as a unique retirement community. This past spring, the Archives Committee began by focusing on the core collection of the Residence Council archives, expertly managed by Miriam Mura with the assistance of others. The committee then merged with a newly formed effort focused on documenting Horizon House's story through the decades. That approach was led by Lorraine McConaughey, historian and resident. This collaboration proved beneficial when an enrichment grant was awarded to hire a professional archivist consultant to assess our current materials and practices and provide guidance for our combined efforts. Currently, we are in the process of hiring that consultant. A job description has been posted, applications will be reviewed, potential candidates will be interviewed, and the job will be awarded by the end of October. The consultant will then proceed with the defined scope of work during November and December. The final recommendation and suggested next steps will be delivered to the Archive Committee early next year. During the working phase, you may be contacted by the consultant for information, potential archival material, or input. We appreciate your cooperation, since all of you have a story to tell or knowledge of some aspect of our history that would be helpful in building this repository of our dynamic community as it evolved and thrived over time. Lorraine has built strong connections with specialists at UW Libraries, Special Collections, who are partnering with us on this project. They will organize and house our records in climate-controlled storage, develop a search aid for how best to easily find the desired materials or information, and allow those interested, resident, journalist, scholar, to assess the collection. This will make the Horizon House archives more accessible to all. These archives will include Horizon House's history in a variety of media, not only formal minutes and records of activities, but also oral histories and visual records, such as photography, videos, recordings. In the early part of 2026, small working groups will be established to handle tasks identified by the consultant in alignment with guidelines provided by our UW partners for easy transition of materials into this new and robust archive. The Horizon House archive will continue to grow over time as a valuable resource. Thank you, and next to David Perrin.
Hi all. That's me. In the coming weeks, the B1 TV room is going to undergo significant renovations. Until that starts, the CD collection is now fair game. We're not going to put it back once the renovations are done. So if you would like to have any of those CDs, please feel free to come down and take them. They're classical, jazz, some folk, some show tunes, but they're all available to those of you who still have a CD player. Yeah. Most people now do streaming. It's the CDs, not the DVDs. So the movies that are there, those will stay. But please feel free to come down and pick through the library and take what you like. I have some more in my apartment that I'll restock if there's room on the shelves. And at the end of that period, they'll go to Goodwill. Next is Nancy.
I hope I see this many people here in Anderson Hall on Friday at 10 o'clock. Do you know what's coming? Did you read the alert? Okay, good. So we're going to have a speaker from AARP. Their presentation is going to focus on scams and fraud schemes that are specifically targeting seniors. And you may already realize that with artificial intelligence, that's only going to get more complicated to identify scams and fraud schemes, so we need to protect ourselves. So AARP is going to explain what to look for to help you in identifying whether something is legitimate or whether it's a scam or a fraud scheme. There are several residents who have been scammed. So this is real. This is happening right here in this community, and we want to protect people. AARP met with several of us, including with Robert Derby, who actually organized this, with a goal of starting a pilot program here at Horizon House. So this is, they have a brand new program. We're calling it the Fraud Squad, even though it's completely legitimate. So don't let the name confuse you. And it's going to be AARP training a group of residents on how to identify frauds and scams in order for us to educate other residents in this community to protect all of us. If they find that this program is successful, they're going to take it on the road and do it in other communities. So we are the pilot program here. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you will be here on Friday, 10 o'clock, right here, and listen to AARP. And now I want to introduce a cowboy.
I need to ask your forgiveness because I didn't bring my cowboy hat or my cowboy boots. But I promise in 2 weeks from tomorrow, we're going to have the annual Horizon House Summer Picnic, or as you probably know it now, is the Double H Dude Ranch. It's going to be on the D-level terrace. We're going to start it at 11:30, and it will last until 2 o'clock. The buffet will be from noon until 1 o'clock. The cost is going to be $28. Our registration is, yes, those of you who have been calling saying, when can we register, will be open at this Friday, the 22nd, at 9 a.m. There'll be registration forms in the mailroom, and there'll be 2 registration forms, and you don't get confused. One is for many people who've already put together a table of 6, and they want to make sure that they get all those people together. So we have 16 tables available for 6. Everyone else would just use the shorter form, which is one and two names on it. If you would like to be seated at a table with some of your neighbors but don't want to have a whole table, just put a note on your registration that you'd like to sit with another person or couple, and Carl Swenson, who is our master control diva, will take care of that for you. And I think that's all. I'm so excited to celebrate another summer picnic with all of you. You're all very enthusiastic. You don't need to wear your cowboy gear if you've got it. I have very limited cowboy gear. So just kind of have a good buffet, wonderful chuck wagon buffet. We'll have some Western music down on the B-level terrace, and it's one of our final events on the B-level terrace, 4-level terrace. So please come and enjoy the fun. Thank you. And now Lorraine McConaughey.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Lorraine McConaughey. I'm here today to ask you to save the, to save the date, November 10th. It's a long time off, and I'm not going to be naming all of the 36 people involved in helping to create Farewell to the West Wing. I just want to sketch it for you to encourage your interest. Farewell to the West Wing, A Night to Remember. It's a time to mark the transition of the closure of the West Wing and its subsequent demolition, and the future that is coming on the heels of that. We are archivally minded now, as you heard earlier from Carly. We want to record your memories that night. We're going to be creating a work of memory art that night, as well as recording memories of the West Wing. Where will it be? It'll be on the lobby level of the West Wing. We'll have all of the apartments to use as a video theater, a sing-along theater, a place for food and drink and sociability. Staff is helping residents here to create a playroom where we'll be able to golf and we'll be able to play big muscle games. You'll be able to dance in a disco. So it's a night to remember, and we'll be digitally videoing it so that we can record it and keep it for our archives. So 6 to 8 p.m., the 10th of November. It's a Monday evening. Be there. Thank you.
Now is the time to recognize those residents who have earned their Ducks in a Row sticker. And if you're here, please stand so we can recognize you and congratulate you. Nancy Bardine, Nancy Federici, Elizabeth Hoover, and one of the Barbaras. Does that Barbara want to stand? And no, that Barbara does not. We've now given 54 stickers for people who have earned their ducks in a row, gotten their ducks in a row. And now Bill Jones will tell us a little bit about the nominations for the Residents' Council for 2026.
Yep, I'd like to just start off by following up on Erica's presentation about how each of us are salesmen and salespersons and saleswomen for helping people who are looking for a place to retire to come into Horizon House. When I exercise in the pool, I always play Christmas music, and when the salespeople bring somebody into the pool and they see that Santa Claus spends the off-season here at Horizon House, they are very prone to say this is a great place. Anyway, I'd like to commend all of you for the nominations that you made for this next class on the Resident Council. We not only have enough people for a superior class of 5 people who will serve from 2026 to 2028, but we also have an alternative list of people who will be available to fill in case any of those people cannot fill their whole term. So thank you very, very much for the way you responded to the opportunity to present nominees for the Resident Council. We will be doing electing in October.
And I now turn it over to Shan Cretin.
The minutes of the previous meeting, which was back, way back in June, so probably it's not in your memories very sharply, have been distributed to the council. They were distributed in early July and distributed again this weekend. Are there any corrections to the minutes? There being no further corrections, the minutes stand.
We have a lot of enthusiasm here for our minutes. You all know that they're available in the library if you want to read them, as well as online on HH Connect. And now Carly again with burning questions and answers.
Hi. First burning question. On average, how many balls are used at a Mariners game? To find the answer, I reached out to two members of our staff with knowledge in this area, Brian Holtz, Director of Operations, and Michael Andres, Garage Supervisor. Evidently, they are quite busy focused on their jobs because no comments were received. Then I turned to a less credible source, Google AI, which generated the following response. On average, between 96 and 120 baseballs are used in a typical 9-inning Major League Baseball game, including Seattle Mariners games. This number can fluctuate based on factors like the number of foul balls, home runs, or other situations where balls are removed from play. Now, some of the other burning questions were not of that nature. Can we, as residents or others as individuals, donate directly to the Horizon House Residence Council General Fund? The Residence Council is a 501c3. I've donated to nonprofits all my life. I want to donate to Horizon House programming. Ronnie gave us a response. The answers to the burning question, plus some related questions received recently, are in Article 9, Finances, Section 10.2.9 of the Residence Council's bylaws. Residents and anyone else may donate to the Residence Council, which is a 501c3 organization. Although Monday market proceeds are the primary source of funds for Residence Council's programs, the Council receives all donated funds as unrestricted. May I designate my donation to be used by a particular committee? Yes, but only if the Council approves. The Council receives all donated funds as unrestricted. Exception, in special instances, the Council may choose to designate funds as restricted to honor the wishes of the donor. 3, may a committee ask for donation from residents? Answer, unlikely. No Residence Council program may engage in fundraising without approval of the Council. Such a request was made in 2024, and the Council discussed it but did not allow it. And the final burning question that has been burning for a little bit of time since we had a hiatus over the summer came from Nancy Nadeski. At the Nancy Lunch recently, we had a question we'd like to submit for burning questions. A recent event was scheduled to be recorded for replay later, but was erroneously not recorded. Is there a visual cue to let us know when a program is being recorded? If so, that would alert the event organizer to know if there is a problem, so it can be fixed before the program starts. Since the program never got recorded, many people were disappointed that it can't be seen later. The answer came from Risa Ransom. We have a process to follow when setting up our events to be recorded. Unfortunately for the incident Nancy was referring to, I thought my computer was recording, but the system we used didn't recognize the audio portion, and I failed to see it during the event. After we discovered the video did not have audio, we planned for the program to be re-recorded. Luckily, this is an in-house event. Don't we just love technology?
Well, besides those burning questions and others that we answered today, are there questions? There is one over there.
Thank you. As somebody who has a storage locker in the west wing area, level G, I received an appointment to meet with Segway, and we were told to tell the front desk if we could make that appointment. Since mine was at the same time as my doctor's appointment, I told them I couldn't come at that time. So I have two things. I haven't been informed if there's going to be a different one, and those are coming up fairly soon. And also, the appointments are 45 minutes long, and I understand that intention was to help people box things up and that kind of thing. As somebody who only has 4 boxes and they're already in boxes, I'm sure a 10 or 15-minute appointment would do, and so maybe they could get more appointments in. And I'm just kind of reporting back. I haven't heard yet.
I think the person to contact would be Brian Holtz. Just give him a call and explain, and he should be able to work that out for you.
I'm just curious, did anybody else turn in notice that they couldn't come to the appointment they were assigned?
Yes, some have. And has it been reassigned? Have you been able to work it out for another time? No? Again, I would suggest calling Brian Holtz.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Yes, Susan. Chase is coming.
This may be cheating. It's not really a question. It's something I probably should have signed up to announce and didn't think about it. I want to be sure that all of you know residents are invited to a next Monday at from 4 o'clock to 6 in the afternoon, 4:30 to 6, to a celebration of our gardens. It's thanks to an enrichment grant, a catered party with Oliver's hors d'oeuvres, his punch, wine, and beer. And you're all welcome on the D-level terrace. It is for residents, and it's to say goodbye to our gardens. After the summer picnic on September 3rd, gardeners are going to start to vacate our gardens on the terraces of the plants that we want to save by giving them to someone else or asking a friend to keep them for us, because in November sometime, those terraces will start to be, the existing structure of the gardens will start to be removed by Methuen in order to make way for the West Tower construction. So the B1 terrace will continue as a usable terrace, but after that point, the C, D, and E levels will not be available to residents. They'll be in a construction or a deconstruction zone. So we've had a wonderful times with our gardens, and we will have wonderful new gardens on the new West Tower garden terrace. But in the meantime, we'll be adding to Ronnie's list of finding a lot of places. We are surrounded in this area by gorgeous gardens, on private gardens that are open for tours and many public gardens. So we're looking forward to what's coming next, but we need to say goodbye to what we're losing right now. So please come.
Thank you, Susan. So that is This coming Monday,
Yes, Monday, the 25th.
Monday, August 25th.
August, yes.
Your last chance to see our beautiful gardens and an opportunity to record for our archives. I hope somebody is taking note of that. Yes, it's the same time as Sunny Monday. Is it 4 or 4:30? 4:30. 4:30 to 6. It's in the alert, but you don't have to bring anything for a potluck. It's not a potluck. Food will be provided and drinks. No charge to you. Any other questions or announcements?
I
Go ahead, Ned.
I can't resist a supplement to the answer about making gifts to the resident council. Every year, we all make substantial gifts to our employee gift funds. So don't think you don't have to do that. We'll be soliciting again shortly, and we want to remind you of that wonderful opportunity to be generous to our employees. Well, that is not a gift to the resident council. That's a gift to Horizon House.
I'm always happy to see.
I don't know if you heard Karen. She said that she's always happy to receive gifts to the Residents' Council. Well, I know it's getting late and you're all probably anxious to go. I hope that some of you may want to stay and chat for a little bit about today's meeting, and preferably with somebody you don't know very well. It's been suggested that we sign off with a joke. Does anybody have a good joke that they want to tell? Any elevator jokes, especially? We have an elevator joke. Jim, Jim has a joke.
Jimmy Carter. Is it loud?
It's on.
Yeah, there it is. Now it is. Jimmy Carter was President of the United States, as some of you may remember. And he always started his speeches with a joke. And he was a terrible joke teller. Absolutely awful. And but his speechwriter is told, you must put a joke at the beginning of every speech that the president gives. So Jimmy Carter went to Tokyo and gave a speech there to 2,000 or 3,000 people sitting, and began by telling the joke in his speech, and the audience just laughed uproariously. And there was it was tumult in the audience. And the speechwriter standing in the back wondering, I wonder how the translator translated that joke. So he found the translator, and he said, Mr. Carter told the joke. Could you tell me how you translated it? Then the translator looked at him and pulled himself up and said, I told the audience, the President of the United States just told a joke. Laugh uproariously.
And with that, we'll adjourn. Don't forget that all of these people will be in the Fireside Lounge, available to talk with you about whatever. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.